Hi, I would like to welcome you today to our webinar on Sage 100 Contractor and how you can use that software to grow your business. I am Keith Green from Acima Solutions, and today we want to go fairly quickly just through the overall topics and just showing you how the software can be used to help you grow. So let's just move on. So on the agenda today, what we want to be talking about is current industry issues that are affecting growth. We want to talk just a bit about the project management processes and how they are essential for making sure that you do things consistently on a good basis. And then we're going to be going through just estimating and how we can do comparisons to actuals, scheduling and how we can use it for service dispatch and projects. Also, how to collect time, charges, equipment, and inventory, and what to use each is out in the field easily. Also talking about accurate invoicing and how to be able to do that from the collection of invoicing. Then enhance project management, and really this is one of the critical components, is giving the project managers the availability to be able to manage projects and be accountable for what the projects are actually showing. And then the last one is just the complete visibility for the owners to be able to look at all the information and just see whether you're doing things right and do an analysis of all of the details. And then finalize, finishing it up with, is it right for you? And it just really depends on the cost benefit. And then questions. Okay? So, issues affecting growth. And so really there's probably more than this, but really it's difficult for most of the small businesses in construction to be able to prepare estimates and be able to track it to actual results. Whether you're using QuickBooks, Simply Accounting, or any other accounting system, this is always one of the Achilles heels in the system, is just being able to get the information in. Lots of times you guys are doing it with spreadsheets, and therefore to be able to get it tracked to the actuals, it's difficult. The other one is being able to schedule the employees, the equipment, your subcontractors, all of your resources that you've got. And so how can we actually do this? And so we're going to be showing you with the Sage 100 just how this can be done and make it just a little bit easier for you guys. Difficult to collect time, charges, and inventory. And so again, how do you get this? Is it manual time cards? Is it just sheets of pieces of paper? How do you keep track of how much time is equipment charging on the job? And so really what happens with this is that you have to a difficult time trying to keep all of this paperwork coming around, and we can eliminate that with some of the automation in the Sage 100 software. Difficult to prepare accurate invoicing. Really this becomes a push of a button if you've got your projects and service jobs set up correctly. And then difficult to control and manage jobs. And again, it's this, how do you keep track of your project managers? How do you make sure that they're accountable and have all of the information that they need to do the jobs on time, on budget, and solve the problem or actually get the job done correctly? And then difficulty in having visibility of the total operation from the owner's managers. Really, how do you know that you're in control? And so what we're going to be showing you is just some of the information and the dashboards that you can get out of the Sage 100 that can help you with this. So these are kind of the issues, and what we want to be doing is just addressing how these things can be solved with the Sage 100 software. Okay, let's talk about job management and project management. Really, this is the overall stuff. And so what we need to do is make sure that our processes for the initialization, planning, executing, monitoring, closing, and then this continuous improvement. But really, the project is coming in. We have to set it all up. We have to make sure we plan for it. We have to start executing it where we're actually collecting the time. We have to monitor how this is going, and this is what the dashboards are all about. And then closing it, which is kind of the invoicing, just finishing up the project to make sure that we're all done, and then taking a look at it to make sure that there's a continuous improvement to improve our processes. Software is only 50% of a solution. The remaining solution is the processes and procedures to make it work. So understand, no matter what accounting system you ever buy, what project costing system that you buy, you have to make sure that procedures and processes are set up correctly to make this overall operation effective. All right, so let's just move into estimating then. So if you take a look at the estimating package, and this is just the workflow that's available in the Sage 100 software, you can see that it's set up and very, very easy to use. It's talking about the takeoffs and the budgets. It's talking about all of the assemblies that are involved. But you can see that this stuff is very, very graphical, and what it's set up for is ease of use and giving you the availability to understand the software. And so also available in the Sage 100 is online training, which can help you with a lot of this stuff. But you can see that the estimating is built right into the package. And so let's just drive to the next slide then. And so estimating and takeoffs. And so understanding this is just one of the screenshots for the estimating. And you can see it's talking about project values, takeoff details, recap, insurance, tax, and bonding. And then this is just the summary page. But if you understand what the system is able to do is collect all of the information about the project, all of the detailed takeoffs and how much time it's going to take, how much material it's going to take, how much subcontractor time it's going to take. You can put all of that, and then it summarizes it in this particular detail where it's talking about total cost of $42,000, overhead of this $8,400, total profit, right? The profit percentage. All of it is here for you to take a look at up front. Okay? And so once you've got this information all in your accounting system, all in this project management system called Sage 100, what do you do with it? Well, it's worthless unless you actually can compare it to some real numbers. And that's what we get into on the next slide that we've got. And it's tracking to the actual results. And so this is just a snapshot of a job or a cost summary report. And so really what this is doing is just saying this is that here's the division, here's the various tasks that are involved in that, so you can have all of these budgets set up by the individual tasks. And so you see that the budget, and this is the budgeted cost to be able to generate this. So $7,000, right? And it's still, the new one is $7,000. How much actual cost incurred? $6,779. And so what can happen is this, is that in each one of these reports, you can double click on these items and it'll drill you right down to the detail for the cost. You can drill down to the detail on the actual budget amount. And you'll also see tracked in here is the change orders involved in this particular task, right? So you can drill down to each one of these to see what is really happening to your projects on a real-time basis as the data is collected. So if you can do this, if we can do estimates reasonably easily, if we can put all of the estimates and they flow straight over into the, whether it's a service job or a project, and you can track the actuals, this is going to enable you to handle more projects and give you that comfort that you're actually under control with it, which should help you grow your operation. In the small business accounting system like your Sage 50 or your QuickBooks accounting system, you do not have this functionality. And so this is where it really enhances some of that stuff for you. Okay, let's talk about the next stuff. So the next big problem that we were talking about in those difficult issues is scheduling work. So okay, once we've actually done this, we've got an estimate in here. How do we schedule that? So let's just go into the service side of the world. And so in the service management side, where we're talking about smaller projects, usually being done in a day or 2 days, but they're shorter type stuff. What you end up with is this dispatch chart, which will allocate and show you what's going on with each job. So you can drop and drag. So this Lamb Shoes, I can take it over from this Liz B and take it over to Daniel over here and just drop it on top. You see he's got some time right there. So we can move this stuff very, very easily. We can double click on those particular jobs and see all of the detail about the job. Okay. Also inside here, we can assign these jobs in different things. So what we've got set up right now is the emergency, urgent, prompt. We can change these if you want. But what you can do is when you're setting up these jobs, you can actually assign them to, how much of a priority is it. So you can see that this will certainly help your service dispatching people or your project managers to be able to see what's going on with your project. And inside here, we can change it from 1 day or 5 days so you get more information. But it really depends on how much you've got. In today's world, we usually are running in the dispatch world with multiple screens, so you can have this system run over where you can open up the job and it's on another screen, and you've got all of the details sitting here. So really, this can help you with your scheduling of your service jobs because you can drop and drag them, you can move them around, you can make them larger by just grabbing it, moving it down, and you'll see that this thing is very, very flexible. And in the back end of it, it's actually changing the hours and all of that information, which has to go in there for your technicians. Inside here, you can see you can also schedule time off. I mean, you've got a doctor's appointment or lunch or various things. So you can, if you've got training courses, you can slot it in so that you technician is not going to be available. And this is also available for equipment as well, not just your subcontract, or just not your employees. So you can schedule your equipment, you can schedule your employees in this particular function. Okay, so from service, this certainly will help with regards to it, because you get this graphical view of what's going on with your jobs. Instead of having that whiteboard where you're dropping and dragging or erasing and rewriting things, this just gives it to you in an electronic format with all of the detail about each job. Okay. All right, I've got a question with regards to this, and can you access this from outside on the web? And the question or answer is absolutely yes. So there is the Sage Service system, which is available on the web, where the project managers or your technicians out in the field would have access to this dispatching screen. Okay. So let's just go to the other side. So this is the servicing side, and you can see what we can do. So on the project side, what do we do? And so understand, in a project world, and this is just in the scheduling side inside of the Sage 100 software, it allows you to track multiple tasks. And so inside of each project, you have these multiple tasks that you guys would create. And so you create these templates of all of these tasks for a particular, let's say you're building a house. And so you'd have your foundation, or you'd have first we need to survey, then we need to dig the hole, then we need to pour a foundation, then we need to, but I guess we got to form it. But all of those individual pieces would be set up in here. And so then you can sit down and you can start scheduling and say, okay, first we got a survey, so that's going to take a day. Then the next thing is we have to form the foundation after we dig the hole. And all of these individual steps. And we'd have a start date and an end date with all of that on here. And if you move to the next thing, you'll see on here, we're talking the employees can be put on here, the equipment, the subcontractors can all be put on here and scheduled. So once you've done this scheduling inside of the system, this is what you end up with. And it's this grid Gant chart, which is talking right down in here. And so if we go to the next screen, you get just a glimpse of this. And so what it's doing, and it gives you this graphical view of what's going on. And so lots of companies now are requesting this kind of information, where your customers are coming out saying, listen, I want to see what you're scheduling and how you're scheduling it to make sure that this job is done on time. Because your customers want the job done correctly, they want it done on time, and they want it done for the correct price, right? So what this is allowing you to do is you can see what's going on, and you can also give this out to your customers if you need to. So this is the Gant chart. And so if I change this particular item here, where I change this site work, and I move it onto different days or move it, it's also going to change that information in your Sage 100 in this, the amounts right in here, which is what's the start and end dates. Okay? Good. All right. So this is project scheduling. And so understanding, if we can do the dispatching for your service management and make it easy to use with a drop and drag and drill down into the particular service jobs. And if we can give you project scheduling, where we've got the Gant charts and all of the scheduling done so you can see what's going on and who needs to be on the site when, right? This is certainly going to allow you to give you more control over your projects and your service jobs so that you can grow your business. All right, now let's talk about just time collection, or collection of all kinds of information out in the field. And so this is our typical world that we live in right now, okay, where we've got these manual time cards. We've got the manual start and end times. We've got the manual sign-offs and all of this. Well, what happens is this, is understand, this takes a significant amount of time just from your employees to fill out these bloody time cards. Nobody likes to do time card entry, right? There's missing information, or people forget to put their time cards together, or they write so sloppy that you can't really read what it is, and somebody puts in the wrong job code, or somebody puts in the wrong company that you're working at. So the other side of it is this, is that the foreman also has to, or your supervisor, so whoever's doing the approval of the time cards, has to spend the time to go through here to make sure that this is correct, and they're trying to scribble it and rewrite over the top of it to just try to get it accurate. Okay? Then there's the time for somebody back in the back office that try to enter this time card into the projects so that you know how much time your actual technicians are spending. And so again, there's a chance for error when you try to re-enter that stuff. Then the next piece on this whole puzzle is sitting down and like you're looking at this overtime amount right here. Well, is that recorded into payroll as overtime, or is it coming in as regular time? Maybe you guys record it all as regular time for your actual servicing side, but payroll has to make the adjustment. So the bottom line is this, is that your employees spend time, your supervisors spend time, your project team spends time putting it into projects, and your payroll people have to spend time putting it back in. This is a complete waste if you're actually putting the information in on a timely basis that flows across into your accounting system. And so as we get into the Sage 100 system, we'll go into the next step. And really what we're talking about is this construction anywhere or this service center. But really what happens is this, is that you've got this mobile application, which is out in the field. You've got cloud applications, which can be out in the field. Mobile can be disconnected, which means that you don't have to be in communication with the internet or have cell service. You can actually do the time entry and then it will upload later. In the cloud, you're going to need internet access, but you can see that you can have all kinds of different information there. And then on premises, this is your regular where you've actually got the software back in your office and your people are doing the data entry. And this is the typical old way and probably what your systems are doing right now. But what we've really got in this world is being able to also deal with mobile and cloud. Okay? And so the sign-offs, the project approvals, the payroll approvals, all of it can be on the cloud if you need to be. All right? So let's go to the next slide and just take a look a little bit more about this data collection. So let's talk about being able to easily get this information in. And so we're looking right now at time. So we're talking about labor. We can also have equipment time in here, but really there's different ways to get that in. But, you know, people can log in, whether it's an employee or a supervisor, so they can put in a group of employees into here if they want. But it's linking directly with the job, so they already know what job, they already know what phase, they already know what tasks you're doing underneath those phases. So with that, the accuracy of your system is going up significantly, because instead of, if we remember back on this old time card here, somebody's written it down, and I don't know exactly what that means. It looks like power or something, right? With this particular system, you've got the exact correct spelling in here, okay? Also, inside of the notes on these systems, because you're running in a world which the digital technology is here, you can click on that and actually go in and just dictate the information, and it will type it out for you because it's using the iPhone or the iPad or your Surface tablet to do that conversion for you. So this makes things much, much more accurate. But you don't need cell service, as we said. Really, this system will run as an application outside, and then it will upload when it's got access into it. And managers can actually review this overall information. So this is from the time entry. But let's just go another step and just deal with the next one. Now, this is talking about from internally in the system, but daily field reports. And so some people handle things this way. And so if you look at this field report, what it's talking about, here's all your employee information, so you happen to have these 5 people working on your job, right? But you go to the next tab and you'd have all your subcontractors that are working that same day, all of the equipment that's being used that same day, and all the material usage is being used the same day. You can actually collect all of this stuff and generate a report out of the web application, which allows you to sign it off out in the field by the customer or the supervisors or the employees. But you can have all of those sign-offs out in the field, and all of this information is flowing back into your project costing or your service management, and it is all flowing back into your payroll system. Okay? On top of that, with the system, you can see that you're tracking incidents, meetings, so you can have meeting notes, and you can actually start generating new orders from here. Something else happened that you actually need to generate a new order that needs to be something else that needs to be worked on, you can start the system from right here. Okay? So very, very flexible and gives you a lot of different information. So you can get your equipment, your subcontractor, all of that time can be collected very easily for your systems so that you can grow your business. So if you went from 3 technicians to 50 technicians, as long as this information is all flowing in correctly, the supervisors are still signing off, you can easily grow your operations. Okay, let's move into the service work and invoicing. And so understanding with this particular stuff, what we've got is the information is being stored right at the service work order level. And so all of the information about the customer, what's going on, the description of it, is it open, service types, right? What's the date on it? When is it scheduled to get done? All of that information is flowing right from the initial where you're generating the work order. Okay, this can be done on the web, this can be done on the mobile, this can be done in-house. Okay, so you can see we're putting in the employees, we're putting in equipment. We can actually have vendors if we need to be going out and purchasing something. But you'll see all of the information and the calculations that are starting to happen right at this setup of the overall information and where this work order is being created. Okay, what this does is this, and let's just move over to the next slide. And really what it's doing is this, it allows you to create these invoicing very easily. So you see that this was an invoice, which is a monthly service check, which is $1,500. Now you might have service work which is happening, which is either less or more, right? But the bottom end is we can do fixed pricing, we can do detailed pricing based on the individual labor time and technician's time, right? Or we can have it different ways. But you can see all of that stuff is built right into the same flow. So we're just moving over to the invoice detail. If we go back to this prior screen, see this is on the location dispatch invoicing details. So this is all being generated all at the same time, which allows for way more accurate invoicing and more timely invoicing because they are completely done as soon as the technician's done and signed off all of their time, materials, and subcontractor time. Okay? So service invoicing, easy, same thing done with project costing. And so really what we're talking about is normally with a project you have fixed pricing where you say you're going to be charging, like in this case, let's say it's $47,000. It's also taken care of. So this is progress billing 1. It's $1 million project. We're billing this $47,000 to start. You'll see that there's the holdback rate built into the system. It's automatically doing the calculation. And there's an actual invoice being generated for this $42,000. Okay. On top of that, it knows who the customer, where the job is being created, so it knows that it's subject to HST in this particular case. But if you're in a different province, Alberta, where you're only dealing with GST, or you're in BC now, where it's talking about GST and PST, all of that stuff will automatically come up as far as the tax jurisdiction. So invoicing, very, very easy, whether it's a progress billing or detail. And so all of that stuff flows. And again, this is going straight into your accounting system. It's going straight into your project system, so it knows how much you bill for the project. All of that stuff is controlled and maintained in one spot. All right, so let's just go into the next stuff. And this is an important piece on here, which is the project management side. And so lots of times your project managers just do not hold themselves accountable because they're coming back to you guys all the time saying, hey, listen, I didn't have that information. Or your project managers themselves are actually maintaining spreadsheets outside, just trying to keep control of all of the information on a particular project. What a waste of time if you can actually generate this stuff and give them all of the information on a timely basis so that they can really see what's going on. So what do we got? We're talking this job status report. And again, it's talking about the original budget, the current budget. It's talking about how much you've got for this period cost, what the total cost, and what the percentage complete is. Okay? Very, very simple by the various tasks. But if we really break this down a little bit, what we do is we get into it, we're talking about streamlining, the construction processes, trying to bring all of the information so project managers have got it, so they are accountable for the project. They can really see where they are with this stuff. They know whether they're in trouble or not right away. If they look at the foundation that says it's 7% complete, and they know it's at 50% complete, they can go, hey, we're making money on this one. But lots of things, it just gives you this timely information. And it improves the communication so that they know what's going on, so they can see who's charged to their particular job, whether the subcontractors, the employees, the equipment, whether all of that stuff is correct. So this project management that you get from having the Sage 100 system can be a huge, huge benefit to your companies. So if we move forward, again, into this project management side. So understand, you can go way further than that. you know, here's these daily field reports. So we can have all of these reports generated for you. You can see this is on the Samsung device. It doesn't care. You'll see that it's got a little icon hanging here for pictures. You see, so out at the site, so that you're having a particular problem, or you're having a communication with the customer, and you're saying, well, listen, did you see that this ground is swampy, where we have to do a whole bunch of extra work? Take some pictures of it. Send it off to them. It's stored in that file with the particular project. Or a servicing job, you can have pictures and schematic of all your jobs, your electrical information. You can have all of the information about the mechanical stuff that you've got. All of these drawings are embedded straight into the accounting and the project management software, so that you can get at it anytime from out in the field or in-house. It doesn't care. And so this kind of stuff allows your project managers to have all of the information that they need to be able to make accurate and better decisions as things are moving along. So let's just go one more step, and then we'll just talk about the projects themselves. And so this, again, is talking about the in-house application, but the same information is available web, right? And so really, in each one of the projects, you can take a look at what's going on with the receivables, payables, the payroll, the project, all of this stuff. And every one of these pieces is available for drill down, where you can actually click on it and drop down into the detailed information, so that the project manager can really see what's happening on a real-time basis, or at least as real-time as the data is being collected out in the field. And this is giving you all of the basic information. See, what was the total contract amount? What is the total contract? What are the costs to date? What's the original budget? See, budget being your cost, contract amount being the revenue side. All of the information is here for them to view. All right? So understanding with this kind of information, and your project managers having the information at their fingertips so that they can do their job better, this allows you to grow. So if you only have yourself as the project manager and you're adding a new person, they are able to get the same information, so you can hold them accountable and you can keep growing your company, because hopefully the information is here showing that you're making money. So let's talk about overall visibility of the system. And so understand, with the Sage 100 system, and with a lot of the project management, the Sage 300 Contractor as well. But you see, so we've got service management and project management. Project for the bigger projects, service management for the smaller jobs, right? We've got analytical tools. We've got this monitoring and alerts, so we can get alerts if a job is losing money. We can get payments where we can actually electronically pay for payroll. We can electronically pay for the payables. We can actually receive money. Electronic document management if you need to, the accounting and payroll, and of course the estimating to start everything off. So all of that is in one particular place, and so your management can see this and get a global view on what's going on with the company. So let's just talk about this in a little bit more detail. So let's talk equipment. So, I mean, how many of you guys are actually tracking equipment and want to know how much it costs for each piece of equipment that you've got? Well, it's easily tracked inside of the system. You can see that this, you know, JCB 926 forklift is $140, I think it's $148, sorry, this is a little bit small. But you can see that that's the cost, right? Here's the revenue that's been generated for each piece of equipment as well. And this is the stuff which is coming from the actual jobs that you're generating and actually charging it out on a job. So this gives you a whole lot of information about what's going on with just your equipment. And so that's just one piece of the puzzle. So let's keep going. So let's talk about the overall project itself. So like if you're the manager, you can take a look at this very, very easily and see, okay, this project total, 553, estimated cost at completion, right? What's the estimated, right? All of this information is here. But you can see we've actually incurred $263,000 worth of costs, and we've actually only billed out 154. So this is this underbilling. And so this is certainly going to have a major impact on your cash flow. And so you as a project manager, or you as the owner of the company, or you as the actual management of the company, can come into here and see what's going on with each one of your projects. Not only that, you can double click on any of these and get all of the detail on what's going on with the contracts and all of this. So this is giving you a kind of a snapshot view on what's going on with your projects, and you can grab these and generate these reports anytime you want, and they're available anywhere, anytime. So let's go to the next step. Let's just talk about this business visibility and really what we're talking about here. And so you need to know your status. You need to understand and drill down to the cost. You need to monitor your progress on how these jobs are going, right? You need to manage your resources. How much is your equipment being used? How much is all of your technicians or all your employees being used? How much are the risks that are involved out there? You know, if you have to have a job done and there's a major penalty clause that is going to kick in, then you are going to be working weekends and everything else just to get the job done, to try to get away from those risks of having those costs kick in. And so if we can give you the information in this dashboard view, and this dashboard is modifiable, so what is important to you as the manager? What is important to you as a project manager? Then what we need to do is give you that so that you can see this information, drill down to the detail if you need to. But what happens is that then you will know what's going on with the big important stuff for you. You will get an alert if your bank is all of a sudden in a $150,000 line of credit, right, or overdraft, and you've got an operating loan of $500,000 or $200,000. You've only got $50,000 left to go. So you maybe want to have an alert that'll come up and say, hey, be careful, don't spend this last 50 grand, or you're going to be in trouble. So you can have alerts, you can have these drill downs. This is giving you the visibility to be able to manage your company on a better basis. And this is available out of the box with the Sage 100 software. Okay? So understanding is that what we're going to do, if we give you the visibility that we're talking about, we think you're going to be able to grow your business because you're going to be able to manage on a better basis without having to go and pull out information, paperwork, or Excel spreadsheets. Understand that here's a problem that's out there. If you've been using an Excel spreadsheet for more than 1 year, the stats say that there's a 100% chance that there's an error in the spreadsheet. And really, I've taken a look at this over the years, and I find that it's very, very true. There always seems to be you move the new line, and all of a sudden the cells don't add. So the bottom line is we need accurate information, and we need to have visibility into what's really going on with our businesses. This allows you to do that. So it helps you grow. So where are we at? Let's just go to the next here, because why? Oops, is it right for you? And so this depends. What is the loss in growth potential if you don't solve your problems, right? If we go back to those initial discussions that we had, where it's difficult to be able to estimate and track the actuals. If it's difficult to be able to track the actual time and get all of the information in as far as a material usage, equipment usage, subcontractor use, if it's difficult to do that, you know, what is the loss that we're getting out of the system, or how much time is it taking us to be able to put that stuff in? Manual time cards, all of the employee administration time that's being spent, what is that cost that adds up for your company? So if you just look at yourselves with a magnifying glass and go through each one of those processes that we're talking about and just say, listen, I've got an extra person in here just because I don't have anybody in project management. They're doing this stuff after the fact. Therefore, just add that person as a cost that could go away if you actually added automation. Okay? What are the implications to this of not having the process controls in place? So really what happens is this, is that these risks come in where all of a sudden you're over date and you're paying $5,000 a day because you're over on your project on the particular deliverable, you know, whether it's a building or whatever. What are these costs of not having this in place? We had a particular company up in Fort Mac that actually went bankrupt because somebody had done the estimating and forgot to put in a whole section of labor, and they would not let them out of the agreement because they had signed this silly thing. So all of a sudden this contractor's in some major, major problems. And that is a cost that you really don't want to incur. And then the other side is, what are the benefits of getting this stuff? It's this information. It's being able to be down in Tahiti where you're sitting on a beach and you still get an email that tells you exactly what's going on in your business, and you can look at the jobs. You know, how much comfort do you get out of that stuff? So there's benefits as well as costs that are in there. The bottom end is that this is really what you do, is you sit down and say, okay, listen, it's going to cost us $10,000 or $20,000 to put in a piece of software. If we are really saving, you know, this, you know, $20,000, $50,000 in cost, and there's another potential benefit of $25,000, all of a sudden we've got a $75,000 cost or value that we're actually going to gain, and a $20,000 cost. So really, it's in your best interest to move forward with technology. We in Canada are a little bit slow on moving up on technology, and we've really got to go, because this is this whole production where the U.S. now is outperforming us, and that's something that we need to correct. So, keys to success. Let's talk about it. Understanding of this is that these systems don't just put themselves in. They've got to be really planned, and so it needs to be senior management buy-in, because if you don't make your technicians put in all of their time correctly, if you do not monitor the projects, or you don't monitor your project managers, or you say, don't worry about it, put it in Excel, the system is going to fail, and we do not want that. So senior management has to buy in and be committed to business improvement. The next one is companies have to accept the responsibility for the improvement themselves. You know, we as a consultants are out there, and we look at this software and we think, boy, this can really help that company. But understanding is that we cannot force your employees to do the work. We cannot force you guys to change your procedures. And so you need to understand the responsibility is yours for improvement. All we can do is guide you. And then we need to plan, set goals, as we were talking about with those cost savings and potential benefits that are out there. Plan what those are. Make sure that you've got it, and look at the feedback after you've got the system to make sure that we are really better off by putting this system in. And then understanding that there is a huge impact on organizational culture for success. The bottom line is this, is that I have seen some systems where we put it in, and then all of a sudden the sales guys will not use the system because they think it's too clunky, right? And so you have 180 people on the back end that are all happy, 5 sales guys on the front end that are fighting it. And because of that, the whole system just grinds to a halt. In this one particular company, they actually had to go out and hire 5 additional people just to be able to handle the information so that they could put it in for the sales guys, right, to be able to give them and benefit the whole company. Now, they lost 50% of the value of the benefits and the cost savings because of that, but the company was still gaining. But, you know, the overall effect is understand that your culture and various people and divisions inside that culture may cause problems, and you need to address that right up front. Okay? So then we'll finish off with some questions in here. I'd like to thank you for your time. If you guys would like to look at any of this information, please give us a phone call. We've got virtual servers so that you can come in and play with the software, and we can send you other information with regards to just what's going on with your company and help you just determine what the cost and benefits can be. Thank you, and again, enjoy your afternoon.